Hello guys, this time I'll talk about how to decide an example, how to decide whether to reject the null hypothesis or to fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, the first example, this is example number 4 in your notebook of lesson 3.8. Okay, example 4. What do we have here? If the p-value is equal to 0.05 and we have a significance level, or a level of significance is alpha, which is 0.025. So these are the two given that you have. Decide whether you reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis. It means reject the null hypothesis. Fail to reject means accept the null hypothesis. Okay, so let's compare like what we have here. So we'll be using because we're given a p-value and an alpha, so we'll be using this guide to help us decide. So this is the number 1 right here of your page 77 of your notebook. So let's compare. So we're gonna compare. So what will you compare? The p-value versus the alpha. Okay? Now, what is p-value? Our p-value is 0.05. Our alpha is 0.025. So if you notice, the p-value, let's put the whole thing here. The p-value is greater than the alpha, which is the significance level. So let's try that. So the p-value is right here. It's greater than alpha. Then we will fail to reject it. So then decide because of that. So fail to reject its O. Alright. Okay, another example. Okay, example number 5. Okay, what do we have here in example number 5? We have use a critical value. We have a critical value, negative t sub 0, which is negative 1.746. Alright, for a left-tailed test, so this is a left-tailed test. To decide whether to reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis when the standardized test statistics, when t-value is equal to negative 1.682. So left-tailed test. So let's draw that to visually. Okay, so if I have here my bell curve and then negative, right? So let's say for example I put it right here. If this is my line of symmetry, my negative, this is sub 0, which is negative 1.746. So my t value is negative 0.746. So this is this part. This is the so-called rejection area. This is the rejection area. Okay? For a left tail test. Rejection area. So now, it means that if T equals negative 1.682 is in the rejection area, then you reject the null hypothesis. If this is in here. Okay. Well, if you look at the number line, where do you think you will plot negative 1.682? Before this, which is right here, or after this, which is right here? If you're here, then you reject. Well, negative 1.682 is right here, correct? So negative, it's closer to 0. Let's say, for example, right here, I'm gonna say right here is negative 1.682. Or let's compare. Well, we know already it's not in the rejection area, but we still have. Okay, another way is, let's compare the T compared to our critical value. Well, our statistics value or T value is negative 1.682, and the critical value is negative 1.746. And do you see that this is greater than? So let's look at the table. Right tail test. Oh, no, left tail test. So we're gonna use this part right here. And then look. This is the T is greater than the negative T sub 0, then it means fail to reject. It means fail to reject. But you see this already in the drawing. You know that this point is not in the shaded rejection area. So it means you cannot reject this. You cannot reject. Fail to reject the null hypothesis because it's not in the shaded area. Okay, guys, there's a lot more examples. There are up to 8 examples. Please try to do that as your assignment, but actually I'm gonna write that in assignment form in Blackboard. Thank you.